our environment, as everybody should know, is it is a very fragile one. A lot of we're below sea level. We are prone to climate change and all of its effects. And for me, that really highlights the fact that we have to focus more on our environment and how we actually address and protect and apply the infrastructure to maintain and support it. So when we're looking at like big sugar and stuff, even and I don't want to make this sound bad, but Christian Jacob, she was able to pass her last bill before she passed away,
Hmm.
with the, what is it called? Oh my gosh. It's like a basin almost. I don't know the name. It's going to come to me later. But basically, it's supposed to collect all of that runoff water with the blue algae and all that. And it's supposed to kind of help prevent that from going into the East Coast portion of the ocean. So that to me, even though it was a great success as a Democrat to pass something in a Republican legislature, I just hope there's nobody taking offense to the fact that that is a band-aid solution
Hmm.
because it doesn't hold people accountable. And then people can talk about the Clean Waterways Act. That has nothing to do with anything clean water related. That was something to save face.
That's
And I
another
want everybody,
marketing thing too. They give it all these great names, and you think it has something to do with clean
yeah.
water, and it has absolutely nothing to do with clean water. So educate the people a little bit about it, so they'll know it. So the next time they see it, hear about it, they'll really have the right kind of perspective on what that's doing.
So the Clean Waterways Act was like a plethora of bills put together, and it's supposed to address a lot of the things I was saying: infrastructure, the support, and how we're going to continue to maintain best practices. So the only thing that I saw it really do that was beneficial was the fact that it raised a lot of the penal fines and codes and enforcement for the polluters and the big industries. Now I think that provides teeth, but I think the other thing we're missing is the fact that our agriculture and our environment are intersected in our state, especially in our economics. So when we're looking at our environment, we have to look at agricultural practices at the end of the day. We have to look at, and this is not a sexy topic, but dirt and soil are important. We need
Right.
every bit of it. So our agriculture, we need to, as a state, implement these best management practices. They already have one, but we need it to be updated yearly. We need it to be enforced and have oversight and accountability in how that is being conducted. And that's where I believe the agriculture commissioner should have some additional oversight with that, and not only the governor. And that's just so, there's more than one pair of eyes is always better for something. And on top of that, we need to look at, I believe that that basin was a good purpose, but I feel like now we need to implement it in another way. Right now, our water sources is not going in the right direction that nature intended, and I understand that because of our whole developing society. But that's where we're faltering as a state because we need to remember that a lot of our water sources are coming naturally from our own freshwater sources and are coming from upstate, and they have to flow, or else we don't have an Everglades down here.
Right.
So we need to at least talk about what is the proper way of stopping and allowing water to flow? What is some infrastructure we can put in place so we can at least support its initiative of collecting and preserving fresh filtered water? And on top of it, we need to look at the one thing I really thought was weird was the Clean Waterways Act it has funding for the Everglades, but it's not the funding I was hoping for in terms of the Everglades is fragile, but there's also not enough of water to make it an Everglades. So we
Right.
need to talk about how our Everglades is actually a marsh filtration system for our water supply. And that right there is one of the biggest economic things we could do as a state to save taxpayer dollars is by actually reinforcing that process and creating that same basin over by Lake Okeechobee at the bottom of it. So we're collecting more water as this is happening. We're not just wasting it. It's not just going into the ocean. These are ways that we can at least work with the environment instead of against it. And I mean, the same thing applies not only to the Clean Waterways Act and stuff, but also our urban development. I was recently listening to a study from Florida Atlantic University of a professor saying that, it's in the best interest of the state and everybody dealing with climate change to think about architecture and infrastructure with more greenery within it. So we are more resilient in terms of, how we're addressing weather anomalies and climate change. And that right there is, just a simple answer as well. Like, just require people who are building new things to look at the environment more than just the profit. Because, I mean, if somebody's going to have to maintain it, and it's usually going to be the city. So we have to find ways to prevent wasteful tax spending. And on top of it, we need to implement common sense solutions, not only just money, but more oversight. And when I say money, not just fines and stuff, we need to talk about, what are some other ways to really hit hard at people to know that this is not something we're condoning. money's great, but there's something way bigger than that. And I've been thinking about it. So I mean, once I get an answer for it, I'll let you guys know. But a lot of the environment, though, I feel like there's a lot of different practices we can do. But a lot of it, I think, are truly common sense, but it has to be involved with the scientists and listening to that community.